DJ, hit it.
The early reviews are in, and critics are not very attracted to Amy Schumer's latest comedy, I Feel Pretty. The film, which follows a story of a woman with low self-esteem who emerges from a soul cycle-induced head injury feeling beautiful, is currently sitting at just 34% on Rotten Tomatoes. In the Hollywood Reporter's review, critic Sherry Linden writes that she felt underwhelmed by the comedy, which she says isn't as gutsy as it wants to be. Praising the surprisingly comedic turn of co-star Michelle Williams in particular, she writes that the film veers between inspired and strained and finally settles into the realm of self-improvement pop psychology. Benjamin Lee of The Guardian was also left unmoved, writing that I Feel Pretty falls flat and that the frustrating lack of subtlety leaves the movie feeling more like an awkwardly assembled attempt to recall high-concept hits from the 80s. He adds that the flick can't quite figure out if it's a parody of such fare or an earnest examination of the shallow nature of society. Lee also finds himself wishing Schumer herself had written the screenplay. There's a spikiness absent from the script, a stultifying lack of killer one-liners, he says. In Michael Phillips' Chicago Tribune review, he calls the film depressing and a weirdly scrambled, two-faced sort of empowerment movie. Finding issue with the overall strategy, Phillips explains, despite plentiful scenes affording Schumer room to show both sides of Renee, the sad sack and the strutter, veteran screenwriters and first-time feature film directors Abby Cohn and Mark Silverstein can't settle on a tone or allow Renee to breathe. Phillips' conclusion? It's just not funny or fresh enough, and that has everything to do with the material and how it's handled visually and nothing to do with the people on the screen. Rolling Stone's Peter Travers found I Feel Pretty to be a tad hypocritical and ponders in his review if the film is fat-shaming away the comedy. While he credits the movie with not going the way of Shallow Hal, he also questions the main point. Bennett learns that, hey, she's always had that strong woman inside her, so now she can use that power to market cosmetics as a new road to actualization and success. That's the takeaway? I Feel Pretty uses the same technique to hawk tickets. See this movie and you'll feel better about yourself. If the people responsible for this comedy aren't embarrassed by that hypocrisy, they damn well should be, he writes. Although the idea behind the film is a good one, Vox's Alyssa Wilkinson says the faults in the execution are tough to ignore. There's a potentially funny movie in here somewhere, but it lumbers along, wasting some of its greatest assets and, in the end, overstaying its welcome. However, David Ehrlich of IndieWire found the film to be rather enjoyable, calling it an open-hearted and occasionally funny story of self-confidence. Not exactly the first movie that's ever dared to suggest that it's what's on the inside that counts, I Feel Pretty at least has the decency to be honest about how far that wisdom can take you. I Feel Pretty, which also features Michelle Williams, Emily Ratajkowski, Rory Scovel, Adie Bryant, and Busy Phillips, opens in theaters April 20th. To read more of what the critics are saying about I Feel Pretty, head to THR.com and tell us, are you planning to check out Amy Schumer's latest comedy when it opens? Have the reviews swayed your opinion one way or the other? Let us know in the comments. For the Hollywood Reporter News, I'm Lindsay Rodriguez.